No worries. We are live. Welcome everyone to the Dave Warnock after party. So far with us, we've got my guest Dave. We've got him here. We've got the amazing Inquisitive Quandary, and the wonderful Duke Bonanza has also joined us as well. We are looking. There will be some other guests joining us as well. Shannon Q definitely will be jumping in here because she wanted to say hello to Dave, and she was very excited that I had him on today. So
I will look forward to meeting her.
Fun fact, Shannon Q's favorite band of all time is Nickelback.
Oh.
You sure you still want to meet her, Dave?
I don't know. I don't have any words right now.
Tell her, Dave, tell her when she shows up, tell her I said that.
I'm thinking you're lying right now, Duke.
No, I never lie.
Yeah, I think I just followed you on Twitter, so you can find me there. But our schedule is also posted on my Facebook page. So, wow, I just got followed by this woman, Joy Miller, whose picture says Isaiah 53:5. Service outside of a prayerful life is us trying to change the world, but service within a prayerful life is grace being distributed. Why the fuck is she following me? Is she trolling me?
Oh, I get that.
It's like a morbid curiosity. Sometimes I get followers from theists that you're like, why?
Dude, I get that too. And I'm just like, are you a glutton for punishment? Like,
well,
what? Comment. They never dislike, troll, nothing. It's just like they're just there to
Yeah, I mean, I can't tell what she looks like, so I'm not gonna. If she was really cute, I might, go down that road. But
all the guys, I have to cue the music for the Queen of Atheism. Welcome to the stream. It's Shannon Q.
You're silly.
There she is.
Hi.
Are you playing some Nickelback intro music?
I'd rather die. I'd rather die.
Duke, I knew you were lying, you motherfucker.
Duke was priming him, telling him that they were your favorite band.
Duke said Shannon Q's favorite band is Nickelback, and I just was stunned. I didn't have anything to say. I didn't know what to say. I thought, oh my God, this can't be true.
It's not. Duke's an asshole. Hate them with a visceral, unreasonable hate that knows no bounds.
Throw down, girl. Throw down.
I want you to know, Shannon, I was at Six Flags, and the only reason you didn't get a tweet of me singing Nickelback to the music playing in the background is I didn't have good enough coverage.
I would have blocked. You would have been my first block on Twitter, Duke. That would have happened. You would have won the first Shannon Q block screen. That's what would have happened.
Hey, Duke, I'm a little alarmed that you even know some Nickelback songs. I'm a little disturbed by that, to be honest with you.
Dave, I live in the city they live in. Okay?
I'm so sorry, Neil.
He's been to my cousin's place.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Burn it down.
Well,
burn it to the ground.
Right? I live in the city Taylor Swift calls home, so I don't know what else to say about that.
I like Taylor Swift.
I don't mind her.
She's actually
I like Taylor Swift.
I just don't like her music, but she's a good girl.
Hey, you know what though? What's his name? Who's the alt country guy? Oh my God. An alt country guy did 1989 in alt country style, and it's a fantastic record, man. It turned out sounding like something that frickin' Springsteen would do. It was really good. Really? He was married to. Oh God, now I'm gonna brain fart on everybody. Never mind.
Great.
That's too much Nickelback music. You get listening to too much Nickelback. That's why.
Well, let me get my
Brian Adams.
Brian Adams.
Brian Adams covered her entire record 1989, and it's so good.
Oh, I like Brian Adams. That doesn't surprise me. He's Canadian too.
He lives in my city too.
Hold on.
He's not. He's not.
Ryan
was the country guy. Brian Adams. No.
Ryan Adams.
Ryan.
Say, man, damn.
Well,
dude.
whoa. It's a big difference between those two.
I don't know who Ryan Adams is.
He's not alt country. He's kind of like half dead, isn't he? Shannon, where do you live? Are you in Canada too?
I live in Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia. That's the other side.
I'm even wearing my Maple Leaf shirt, actually, oddly enough. Hey!
Look at you guys.
Yeah, I'm in Nova Scotia, Canada.
Yeah,
so we're
Nova Scotia.
We represent East Coast.
Yeah, you guys are
I'm on the left
opposite
coast.
ends.
He's on the right coast.
It's a Canada sandwich.
Do you have a? You've got a YouTube station too, right?
I do. I have a YouTube channel. Yeah.
Am I going to be on yours too?
I don't know. Maybe.
What do you do? What's your thing there? Tell me what your. I haven't. Well, shit. Sorry.
She's talking
Oh,
about
you don't have to watch it.
intelligent things.
I just know you. I just know you have one.
She's
Yeah.
very reasonable. She's very reasonable on the internet.
Yeah, that's unusual.
It doesn't serve me well. I catch a lot of flack.
Yeah. What's your focus there? What do you mostly do?
Well, I have a degree in psychology with a focus in perceptual cognition and communication theory. So what I do, so I focus on engaging in complex and contentious dialogues and modeling better discussion tactics. I also talk about discussion strategy. I do series on the psychology of faith, and I also have an ongoing series on Christian counseling practices and I guess of how they meld with secular psychological theory and things of that nature. So I've a pretty wide breadth of things that I cover. I host debates sometimes.
Wow.
I just recently had a conversation with John Perry from the channel Stated Clearly, and Paula Gia was my most recent one, and that was on consciousness, free will, and agency.
She's
Wow.
also the one usually roasting hot dogs on dumpster fires.
Yes, she is. That is true. And she's also one that's making nice with like theists, and she's all like, "This one's one of the good ones," and then like in 3 months, not so much.
No.
Is that right, Shannon?
No, I believe in the principle of charity. I think that we're all human. Just because we believe different things doesn't mean that we're enemies. And it's best to try to understand other people's perspectives if you truly want to challenge your own. And I always want my perceptions to be challenged because I would rather believe the most true things, and the only way to do that is to do everything I can to overcome my own individual biases, and having good productive dialogues with people that believe things that are diametrically opposed to the beliefs that I hold is a really substantially beneficial way to do that.
It just doesn't happen very often. Everybody talks in their own echo chamber, don't they?
Also Shannon can like put sentences like she just put together effortlessly, which is
I make words.
You do
with my mouth hole.
It's crazy.
The best
crazy.
Words,
like
all the words, the best words. Just like
she was able to use diametrically opposed in a sentence without stumbling.
Just don't ask me to spell it.
No, it's a lost art. I know in this country, especially, it's become so. Everything's become so.
Polarized.
Yeah, everyone's fighting each other. It's the division is worse than it's ever been, and everyone just listens to their own echo chamber.
Do you think that started because of Trump getting in?
Yeah, I do. I've never seen anything like it. I've lived a long time in this country, and I've never seen it like it is now, with the sides as far apart as they are. There's just no middle ground anymore. You know, there's no moderate ideology, because he is so far out there that to try to find middle ground, to try to find moderation anywhere is so challenging, because his people are just so far out beyond any rational conversation whatsoever.
Yeah, true enough.
I think it doesn't help that he doesn't seem to actually have like a foothold in anything that he actually believes. I think he kind of just goes along with whatever he thinks he's supposed to say.
He's a leaf in the wind. Whatever.
Yeah, he just kind of goes along with whatever he thinks he's supposed to say to please the most people at the most time, so he can get the most attention. It's mind-boggling.
It's very frustrating.
Do you think that he's the cause of it, though?
Trump would be the Ferengi.
I think that he's inadvertent. I think he's inadvertently the cause of it, in the sense that he is open the floodgates for people who have been afraid to voice bad opinions forever and now feel entitled and even empowered to do so.
Yeah, they're empowered to say the shittiest things because he says the shittiest things. So people who were inherently racist or homophobes or xenophobes or any of the phobes, they kept quiet because it was not socially acceptable to vocalize these things, and now he comes along and says the worst of things and makes shit up on the fly, and so it's given license to everyone to be their worst selves.
Do you think that he maybe just galvanized something that was already on the precipice? This is an argument that I've been getting inconsistently. People that had sort of overtly bigoted stances on things seem to be getting to the point that they think that opposition to those positions, when they attempt to enact them in society, is some sort of intolerance of their position. And they feel, merited or otherwise, I would argue very vehemently otherwise, that that's them being oppressed, and that feeling is real to them, even though that it's not justified. And feelings aren't always justified, but there's something that motivate us. And them having those feelings and now having that free and galvanizing factor of him being so openly douchebag-ish allows them the opportunity to like counteract that negative feeling that they had, because they had initially they'd been starting to get real pressure to be like not assholes, and now that pressure is released, and they're like, fuck you, I'm going to be an asshole, and if you don't like it, then that means that you're intolerant, and you say you don't like intolerance, so if you don't like my opinion, you're a hypocrite because you're trying to make me like yours.
Yeah, I
agree with that.
I think it definitely shined a very bright light on a very serious underbelly that a lot of us weren't aware was there. You know what I'm saying? So like, there was an underbelly that a lot of us didn't realize existed anymore.
I've said that all along. It wasn't hard to see who Trump was, but what concerned me was I thought we were further along as a culture, as a society. And it was very discouraging to realize that he just exposed, like you said, Duke, the dark underbelly of a subculture that existed out there that we didn't know existed. I was shocked and saddened and disgusted that millions of people think that way, and I'm still disturbed by it. I don't know what the answer is, but it's like he turned over a rock and all these cockroaches just scattered, and they were there this whole time, but we just didn't know it.
They're all scurrying around in the dark.
It's disturbing as hell.
Yeah, there's a great thing that Bill Burr said when he was talking about policing certain words, and people shouldn't say this and that word. He called it like it gave actual bigots the ability to circumvent and not show that they're bigots, because all they have to do is avoid certain terms and phrases and things of that nature to get to where they were, and it kind of helped them hide who they were.
Yeah, and
that happened for years and years. And like you said, I thought we were at a place where this wasn't a problem anymore. Like I never thought I would live in America where ethno-staters would get any press. You know what I mean? To me, they were. It was like this weird underground movement. There was like 25 people in Portland that felt that way, and then now we're seeing these huge rallies and this craziness, and it's like I don't even know.
Yeah, it's disturbing. It's well, since I'm dying, it's not really my problem. So you guys need to fix it. I'm checking out. I'm done. But no, it's disturbing. And I read an article, I think, on Politico online. I can't remember where it was, but this guy was positing the notion that basically predicting the death of democracy. And he reasoned that it was because of the internet. And the issue is that before, the bastions, the gatekeepers, if you will, in government and education and media and all that, controlled how society should work and what was appropriate and what wasn't, and we followed suit to a large degree, and democracy works under that. But with the internet, everybody with an opinion, everybody with a controversial story. Hillary Clinton has a sex ring in a pizza parlor, and it becomes true when it's ridiculous. But somebody says it on the internet, a bunch of people say amen, and it becomes a thing. And because of that, all the lines are getting blurred, and everything is getting so muddled in terms of what's real and what's not, and what's true and what's false. And I know people personally who say that Donald Trump's the most honest president we've ever had. and I just want to bash my head against. No, I want to bash their head against the wall. And I have to curb my violent impulses. But it's because he says it with such authority, and he says it over and over. And he speaks the truth, and he says things everybody else was afraid to say. That's because they're lies. And no one stops to think about that, but they really believe that. Because who knows what's true anymore? You can't trust the media because our president says you can't.
It's coming from people who gauge your truth level by how confident you are in what you're saying. Just
right, and
follow it, authority.
And that's how Jim Jones gets in. Like that's how Jim Jones happens. You know what I mean? Yeah. Somebody can just show up and say, "I know the way. I know the truth," and they speak with a confidence level that allows people. Yeah, just draws people in. And it's disturbing.
Say it with authority, and you put it, and you can preach anything, and people go, "Oh yeah, okay."
Yeah, because they trust you, right? We're talking about trust things, right? So if they trust you, anything you say to them is going to be gold, right? And it's going to be the truth, no matter what it is.
People also aren't armed with the tools that are required for appropriate information discernment. So people trust friends. And if a friend shares something, they're liable to believe a headline without even reading the story. And if they read the story, they're likely to believe the story without going down the rabbit hole of finding the original source. People take a lot of things in, and they're not sussing through, nor do they have the tools to suss through what's accurate information and what's not. People don't engage in source methodology literally at all. They hear something that upsets them and react viscerally.
Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah, but the reverse of that's true also. Like I did an experiment with an article I wrote once where I named the article something I knew would be controversial and then dispelled the naming of the article in the first sentence of the article and sat back to see how many people would respond without reading the article.
Yeah.
And it was mind-boggling how many people. I put out, "Is atheism a religion?" The article was called "Is Atheism a Religion?" The very first sentence of the article is, the short answer is no. And I must have gotten like 50 tweets that were just like, "Are you stupid?"
Oh my God.
Of course it's not, you know what I mean? Like it's over and over again. It's just like, read the article. Even if you don't agree with what I have to say, read the article. Actually read it because
I think that's because our attention span is that of a gnat, and with all the information overload, you know, we have Twitter, we have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have all the other things that I don't even know what is out there, and everybody's inundated with all this data information overload. We don't stop to look past the headline, do we, Duke?
No,
no. Sometimes not.
Knee jerk. It's just we're a resource society and not a research society. Everybody is so fucking triggered, and everybody thinks they know everything fucking already, and they already have their opinions and they're set on it. And they just see this and I got something to say about that, and blah 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 blah. They don't even take the time to look into what they're talking about.
So what's the
answer? And I'll surround myself with people that agree with me that will actually back up what I'm saying, and I don't have to actually change my views or change my tactics or change what I do in order to actually make my valid point or find a valid point. It's I don't know. I don't know what we do because at this point, like we have a president that's being supported right now who made a speech about how revolutionary warriors overtook airports.
Airports.
When I saw the tweet, I was like, "Nah, he didn't actually say that." And then I looked it up. Sure as shit. He said they did the work, they did the fighting, they took the airports. What the fuck?
No, y'all didn't.
He actually said that shit. Like how? And people are like, "Yeah, this is the smartest president ever." It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? The guy, he doesn't even know.
He can't even read the fucking teleprompter because he doesn't know how to put words together. So I don't know what the answer is to this dilemma, but you're right. We're fucked.
No, but it's the most fabulous dilemma in the history of all this. It's an extravagant and wonderful dilemma. It's a fabulous dilemma. It's fantastic. It's a fantastic dilemma, and all the people that are working on the dilemma, top shelf people.
The best winners, the best. Only the best people.
The answer
Only
is
the best people.
education and more people who are willing to do the work of sussing through the information and presenting why they did and how they did to demonstrate how it's done, why they did it, and how they came to their conclusions to compel people and build trust. And also, if anybody would like a visual representation of what it's like to have an 8-year-old, I just found a silly putty with a hair elastic stuck to it underneath my computer, because that's what it's like to have an 8-year-old in your house.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, sounds
It's better than having a 3-year-old. My visual representation of having a 3-year-old would have been the time that my son covered himself from head to toe in Desitin butt cream. Back when my son was that age, I had a reclining chair, and I bought him his own little tiny reclining chair and set it next to mine. And we would sit in our little chairs, and we would hang out and talk. And I learned the lesson that if he's being quiet,
yeah, don't trust that. That's don't trust a quiet kid.
I'm sitting there reading Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and I realized he hadn't made a noise in like 45 minutes. And I look over, and he's squirting Desitin into his hand and just lovingly rubbing it into his cheek. And he's covered from head to toe in this white butt cream. It was like, oh, okay, buddy.
Yeah.
That was a better. And then we had to shower and get it all off, and he had a fit about that. It was just like, and that's another thing. You want to know about raising kids? Shower 2.5 inches of freaking Desitin butt cream off a 3-year-old.
Well, the only good thing about a 3-year-old is to become a 4-year-old, then a 5, then 6, and sooner enough you're done with them. So they'll grow up, kids. Don't worry.
Yeah, soon enough.
I love toddlers. Dude, I love toddlers, man.
Yeah,
like toddlers are the greatest thing ever. They run around the house, they got their belly sticking out. They don't give a shit. They're sticking everywhere.
Yeah, but they become teenagers.
Like, I think 8, 9, 10 are great because he still loves me and wants to cuddle with me and hold my hand and sit with me and engage with me. But I can engage in conversations with him. I can have dialogues with him. Like, I'm at that sweet spot where, like, he can wipe his own ass, but I can also have conversations with him about what he thinks about stuff. And he doesn't
still do that.
I concur. I concur. My daughter's
it while you got it, guys, because they become teenagers and then they have demons. They have demons.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I got it. My daughter's 10, and I was trying to have a conversation with her about skeptical thinking. Mm-hmm. And I said, don't. And her big thing at the time was, give me the gist. Tell me what you mean. And so I was like, don't just take what people tell you to heart. You've got a phone. You've got Google, you've got the internet. If somebody tells you something is true, look it up, verify it, look it up for yourself. And she goes, well, give me an example. I said, okay, well, some people think the earth is flat. And she said, what? I said, yes.
Didn't even need to Google it.
What? She was like, some people think the earth is flat. She was like a pancake? Like a freaking pancake?
I love it.
I've rarely seen this child this angry. She was pissed. She was like, I could take your phone right now and show how that's not true. I've seen pictures, and I asked Alexa, and she told me yours is 4.5 billion years old, and it's a spheroid, and that's crap. That's just crap. Those people have whacked out poo brain. Those people are stupid, and they have whacked out poo brain. I was like, yes, that's true.
Poo brain.
That's hilarious.
Oh, I wish I had a poo brain.
Some people think we do, Neil.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
I wish we were all bonobos.
I don't know.
I think evolution was a terrible idea.
Oh yeah.
I think we should have stayed in the trees and not thought about where we came from.
Well, you can't put the genie back in the bottle.
Nope.
Here we are.
You can still fling poo at each other, though, if you really want.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
At certain parties, that happens right now.
That's what I do.
All right, Shannon, what are you drinking?
Oh, actually, there's a new, I guess it's not really a distillery, but or a brewery. They do ciders specifically. Opened up in my neighborhood, and it's called Chill Street, and it's a blueberry red wine blueberry sangria called Wild Thing, and it's good. It's a place called Chill Street. It's actually really good. I went to the grocery store today to get my kids some extra lunch stuff, and it's in the grocery store, this little place. So I decided to stop in because I hadn't gone in there before to see what it was like. So yeah,
is it named?
You give it the thumbs up or what?
Yeah, it's really good. I definitely would. Yeah, I'd buy another one.
Is it named after the Tone Loc song?
Sure.
I didn't really ask for them to give me a dissertation on why they named their beverages different things.
Come on, Shannon.
I just looked at it and said, I like wine and blueberries. This is probably
So I thought you were listen. I thought you were evidence based.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm a little disappointed, Shannon. I thought you
I'm
researched
doing an
that a little
experiment
more.
right now. I'm tasting it to see if I like it. But it's one of the things I like about it is that like it'll take me a while to drink. Like I'm only like this far down because it's 7.6. Well, it's 7.6% too, and it's
I've already
I have to work in the
my
morning.
bourbon. I've got to go get some more bourbon. So.
I have to work in the morning and keep a child alive, so one drink's enough drink for me. But I knew if I was coming on Neil's stream, I should have a drink because it's tradition.
That's right. It is.
It's tradition. Usually I drink Diet Coke on streams to stay awake, but I had this in my fridge because it's a grocery store today. And I was like, going on Neil's stream. I'm allowed to drink on Neil's stream.
That's right.
That's code for I'm going on Neil's stream and Duke's going to be there.
No, I didn't know you were going to be here. I never would have said yes, motherfucker. Started with that Nickelback shit.
Yeah.
I was before I started.
It's not my fault you have a crush on Chad Croning.
I will fucking kill you.
She will, dude. She will.
So Neil, you're going to be at this thing in Dallas. You think what's it called?
Not think.
You're going to Faithless 4. Oh, you're going to Faithless 4. I know you're going to Faithless 4.
Well, are you going, Shannon?
Yeah, I was a speaker there last year.
Okay. Well, I'm planning to come this year or next year, whenever it is.
It'll be next year. It'll be 2020.
Yeah. So I want to make sure I'm there.
Dave, we're gonna get drunk together, you and me.
Absolutely, we are.
You might even actually know some of the other YouTubers there. Lots of them are way bigger than me.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Does Matt and them go down there? I guess the ACA people.
Oh, Matt. Yeah,
Matt
I actually
there last year.
Yeah, I'll probably see him there then, and I'm going back down to Austin in next week to do their show again.
He was actually in the Faceless Forum group that Shannon and I are both members of. Matt was saying that if he hadn't had the conference call that he had to pay attention to tonight, he probably would have jumped in to say hello.
Oh, cool. Matt's a good dude.
Yeah, he is.
After Faithless Forum last year, we all drove down to the ACA. Neil went down, and I co-hosted Heathen Hour with Paul Agia and Cosmic Skeptic and Kyle from the Non Sequitur Show.
Okay.
And we spent
Heathen Hour?
Not Heathen Hour. Talk Heathen. God,
Talk
Jesus. Heathen Hour is a podcast I used to co-host. So sorry.
You did 2/3 of the Trinity.
Yeah.
She also handed Joshua the panty dryer Brister his ass. It was beautiful.
That was fucking brilliant.
I forgot about that, actually. I forgot about that.
If I hadn't been on the road back from Atlanta, I was going to call in as Cletus T. Beauregard and troll the fuck out of y'all.
Oh my God. You know what's funny? That clip, because they when you go on Talk Heathen or any of the ACA shows, they'll clip out just different segments that you're in. Like they'll put the whole show on.
Segment, right. Yeah.
Right. So that clip of me talking to Josh, I still get emails about that.
I would.
I gotta look
on
that
my
up.
videos.
I gotta look that up.
When
God,
Hey,
the beating. Well, the upside of it is that for months, Shannon had been like, "I'll debate you," and he's like, "I don't debate girls," and all this kind of shit. And he was ducking her, but he's all the time talking about how he is like this undefeatable Christian apologist. He shows up.
I've never met one.
There's Shannon, and she just beat the shit out of him. It was beautiful.
Was he there in person?
Oh yeah.
No,
No, he was on the phone.
Oh no, he
On
was
the
on the phone. I was there in person.
You were there in person.
I witnessed
I was-
that shit
You
live.
were there. You were there live. Niels was cheering me from the audience. There was a lot of people in the audience.
I was driving down I-75. I was driving down I-75, hitting the roof of my car, laughing my full fucking head off.
Oh, I'm glad I made you happy, dude.
If
I
you
enjoyed
want
that experience.
Shannon
Was this
Q to
talking
go
that-
away, I don't debate girls is the wrong phrase.
Yeah. Yeah. Was that
This
talking?
much
Then?
I know.
It was talking.
Yeah, if you don't,
I'll look that
if
up.
you haven't had any experience with Joshua Brister, he does this thing that's like a combination of word vomit, appeal to authority, and gish gallop, all at the same time. It's like
It's the Brister
He
salad,
doesn't-
buddy.
yeah, he doesn't actually win debates as much as he just
Overpowers.
talks
you.
nonsense. Yeah. Like I got in a debate with him once. He went on one of his like 10-minute rants, and at the end of it, I was like, "I'm gonna be honest with you, Josh. I have no idea what the fuck you just said."
Why do they take calls from people like that? That's my question. Because it's pointless.
It's
I
a
think
challenge.
I think they took the call from Josh because they knew that Josh had a history with several of the YouTubers that were there. So
Yeah.
Josh had a history with me and Paulogia, and he didn't have a
And me.
history at all with Alex. He had a history with you, and he had a history with Kyle Curtis, who was the co-host of Non Sequitur show.
I see.
Yeah.
So when he called through, they were like, same with Mr. ID. I was so glad that I wasn't on air when Mr. ID called. When Mr. ID called and it was Paul, I was like, yes!
Oh yeah, he got his ass kicked too. He got schooled.
I just can't. I love Mr. ID. He's actually kind and sweet.
He is.
He's just, I can't listen to him talk about tissue paper and eggs over and over. I can't.
Yeah.
And how he discovered intelligence. I just get like, there's only so much I can do. Like,
No,
like
I don't know. Those guys are so much more patient than I would be. I was with Matt, and I was behind the table telling him, "Pull the plug, Matt. Pull the plug. I can't take this anymore. Stop it. I'm gonna throw up." And he just kept. Oh my God, these people.
So
Well, it
Dave
shows
is
like that, the more ridiculous the call, the better, because they're not taking these calls to try to get someone.
No,
That's true.
They're
They're giving people insight and experience.
I know
into,
that.
You know, the dialect that goes on with some of this absolute batshittery, and it gives people that experience. You know,
Yeah,
and-
people are watching, and that's who they're talking to. They're trying to convince the caller. The callers are fucking insane.
So Dave, does this mean the next time you're going to be on the Atheist Experience, Talk Heathen, etc., they're going to have a barf bag for you?
Well, there was one call. I may need one. I told Matt, I was sitting there, I gotta go pee. And this one lady called in and said, I have a scripture that proves God. And,
of course.
And I just said, Matt, I'm gonna go now. You got this. I just got up and went to the bathroom. I couldn't do it.
You know, the one guy I wish would call in, and maybe he has and I haven't seen it, but the one guy I wish would call in is that cat from Twitter that's called Maddie's Paradigm. I just brought him up on Ansgar's channel. Like, that guy is a well of hilarity because he actually believes that global warming is a result of the fact that hell exists at the center of the earth and it's expanding.
I know.
My head's going to explode right now.
He writes full dissertations on it, and they are fascinating. Like, I want to legit talk to him. I don't want to own him. That's not how I operate. Like, I don't want to own anybody, really. Sometimes it ends up like that. Sometimes it doesn't.
Shannon,
But
he's got the intelligence of a rock. I'm sorry. It can't be.
Well, the sad thing is, in order,
why does
if
he
you
think like that, though? That's what you need to know. You need to why does he think like that? Why are people victims of that thinking?
But I'm not even sure that the intelligence of a rock thing is true, because if you read his blog, he puts an enormous amount of thought and effort into this shit. It's like, I don't think the guy's dumb. I just think he's fucking batshit crazy.
And he's doing theoretical physics.
There's a mental illness there. You just can't talk to that.
That's not necessarily true. There's not necessarily a mental illness there. No.
You guys are talking to me, and I'm batshit crazy, so it's fine.
Like
I'll agree with Shannon on that.
No.
That's not quite mental illness territory. That is just
I don't know what it is, honestly.
no. That's just the human equation. That's just we have a desperate need to have answers to things, and if we don't have answers, it is just socially and psychologically unacceptable to so many people to say, "I don't know."
I don't understand that.
It starts at one thing and it keeps going and it keeps folding on itself and it keeps increasing this ever self-gratifying situation of just ridiculous.
Yeah. It's funny because like I when I first came across Maddie's paradigm, he said something to me and I was like, no. And he was like, aren't you going to debate me? And I was like, no, I'm not going to debate you. This side of the earth isn't hell. I'm not debating that. We're not. It's not a conversation we're having. No,
I think too. I got a troll on one of the shows I was on, and he was trolling me about hell, and I just said, no, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a party, and I just kind of went down that road with him. I didn't care. He said, you're okay with burning in hell? I said, yeah, I don't like cold weather. I like warmer weather, actually. So I'll be okay. And he didn't know what to do with that. He wanted to fight, and I'm not going to get into it with him.
You disarmed him with that
I
statement.
did. Yeah, I don't care. I'm going, and I said I wouldn't want to be in heaven with the God of the Bible. He's a dick.
Yeah, exactly.
Not only that, the God,
assholes like you, then forget it.
Yeah.
the biblical idea of heaven, it does not sound like heaven.
Holy shit!
Like,
it's boring as fuck.
Boring as fuck. So what you're telling me is I'm going to exist forever, and I'm going to sing praises to this person, and all the good things that I won for all the things I did in my life, I'm going to give to him.
Yeah.
Because I didn't deserve them in the first place.
All the crowns you lay at the feet of Jesus.
I think I'd just rather not exist. Thanks.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with the other. I'll take my chances on whatever else there is. I'll go behind door number 2. I don't care. I don't like what's behind door number 1. Let's just go with the other.
You're telling me I have to kiss somebody's ass for eternity?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's heaven.
Pucker up,
Yeah.
IQ.
Pucker up, asshole.
And also,
I don't even like that in the work week. Like, much less eternity.
Yeah, and also I made the argument that if you went to heaven, you wouldn't even be you.
Yeah.
Because all the things that make you, half of the things at least that make you get removed from you before you even get there. So like, you're just going to be an automaton. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to be you anymore. So you're going to, like, extinction, it seems to be, oblivion seems to be fucking inevitable, regardless. So
apparently from the artist conception I've seen, you get to keep your Levi's, though.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't think so, because there's way too much gay semen in my Levi's for them to get to heaven.
On that note,
that's a little TMI.
I have to go. I'm so sorry. It was
I do
very
too,
nice
guys.
to meet
I'm
you,
going to
Dave.
get something to eat and another drink, and it's great to meet you guys. Shannon, I'll follow your YouTube, and Neil, yours too. I'm sorry I haven't followed them both by now.
You didn't even know I existed till I tagged on you. So.
I didn't. I must admit. No, I'm really glad to meet you guys all, and this has been a blast.
Pleasure, man.
Hopefully to see you in Dallas or somewhere.
I'll be there. Try and keep me away.
Yeah, Shannon and I got to rep Canada while we're down there, man. So.
That's right.
And Paul, don't forget Paul.
Oh, and Paul. Paul. Of course. But he's kind of
Canada.
like
Just because he's from Alberta doesn't mean that we shouldn't include him.
Right.
Not his fault.
Fair
He
enough.
wasn't born there.
Well, he is the prettier half.
That's true.
Guys.
I can't argue.
Thanks a lot, Dave. By the way.
Bye.
Say it. You got to
Good night.
represent the Kiwagia.
Yeah. Thanks, Dave.
Good night.
Good night. All right. And then there were 3.
And then there were 3. I thought there were.
It was Colonel Mustard in the dining room with a candlestick.
Ooh, candlesticks. Did I ever tell you guys a little? No, I didn't tell you guys a little bit about that, did I?
Tell me about the candlesticks, Neil.
Okay, I'll tell you about the candlesticks. I was dating a girl that was into all kinds of weird stuff.
I'll tell you what.
You don't even know yet to laugh yet. Okay.
When you're done, I'll tell you a.
And then a girl that's into weird shit. What the hell am I supposed to think?
When you're done, I'll tell you my weird story too. It's funny. Go ahead.
Okay. Anyway, so we're drinking and having a good time. This is probably maybe the third or fourth time we'd gotten together. We had not engaged in any sexual activity at the time. And I don't know why I'm saying this live over YouTube, but hey, this is me. This is who I am. Take it or leave it.
It's because your beer's colder than everybody else, Neil.
Probably.
I'm here. Just say it. You can't say anything more inappropriate than I've ever said.
This is true. Oh, well, I don't know. I think you and I could go for that. That's for you, or have a battle over that one. But that'll be for another day, people. That'll be for another day.
We should have a stream where we go battle for battle to see who can be most inappropriate in our private lives.
I'm totally not going to battle you on that, dude.
Anyway, so we decide, okay, maybe we've had some good times together. Maybe it's time to get a little bit more, hubba closer together. So we both retire to her bedroom, actually, and she's one of those girls who's got like a candle within reach at all times. So I'm on the bottom, and she's on top doing the cowgirl thing, and all of a sudden, I'm like, what the hell's going on there? She goes, well, just hang on a sec. And I'm like, okay. Then all of a sudden, she shoves this candle up my ass. I gotta tell you right there. I don't think I've ever had an orgasm that great. So, because it
there you go.
Males,
stimulating the prostate. That's
exactly.
That's one hell of an O face.
Yeah, and we dated for a while, and I was all about the candle for a while there.
I bet.
And so she says, "Oh, let's try this." So she had a string of those beads, the beads.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I'll try anything once." So I'm at the hospital getting the beads removed. I'm just kidding.
Lammy winks.
I'm just kidding. They're still in there. No.
That's why my gut's so big. So I had a girlfriend.
Give me a second. I'll shit out some pearls for you.
I had a girlfriend who was really into being choked.
Oh, yeah.
And not just choked, but like humiliated. She liked to be dominated to the point, like it's a weird relationship. But I was with her for about 7 months. She liked to be choked. She liked me to be really aggressive. So what I didn't know was that she was prone to seizures.
Oh.
So, and not real seizures. She had like faux seizures. They were like psychosomatic seizures.
Okay, got it.
So one night she's at my house, and we're in the doorway to my bedroom, and I grab her by her throat, like she told me she liked, and she collapses instantaneously into a seizure.
Oh, no.
And I was like, I didn't do that. Wait.
For a brief second, you're like, is this a new thing?
Is this
she
part
collapsed,
of this, or?
So I'm like hovering over her, like, please start breathing again. Please start breathing again. Oh my God, I'm going to jail. Oh my God, I hurt this person. I hurt her. I didn't mean to. Oh my God. Because I was uncomfortable with it to begin with, because it was like new territory for me. Because like my ex-wife, who I'd been with for 15 years, is like the most vanilla person ever. There's no kink allowed. So then I get outside of that relationship, and all of a sudden, like everyone I date is like, grab my hair, choke me, do this stuff. I'm like, okay. I mean, if that's what you like, okay, I'm down with it. As long as we're both into it, that's fine. But I swear to God, like I reached up, grabbed her. I didn't even squeeze. I just reached up and grabbed her neck, and she collapsed. And I was like, oh fuck.
So just that timing, really.
It was bad timing.
Is there like a particular name for people who are like sexually into like people who have seizures?
Yes, it's called Duke Bonanza.
You bastard. Wait a minute. You took advantage of her while she was seizing?
No, I didn't. I picked her up and carried her to the couch and loved on her and got her a wet rag, and I took care of her. I'm not
As
like,
vile and foul as Duke can be, I've noticed that this is a reaction to a fucked up world, and Duke is one of the most caring motherfuckers I've ever met. On top of you, Neil, that all this
Duke is yet to be on
craziness
top of
and
it.
all of this foulness that comes from Duke is a reaction to a bullshit world because he's fucking sick of dealing with it, and that it's just a natural response. But Duke is one of the fucking caringest motherfuckers that I've met underneath all that I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
no, I don't. Well, I don't think that I maybe I put off that persona that I don't give a fuck, but I think you came along. Like I quit. I quit doing the things I used to do because it became kind of weird. But I used to do this thing called the kindness lottery, where I would just pick people that I dealt with on Twitter and on Facebook and in my personal life, and would just pick a random 10 people and just send them a nice message to make them feel better. I used to do that. I used to do this thing where I would put out.
Wait. Why was that weird? Why did you stop doing that? I think that's brilliant.
Well, because I got I felt like I have borderline personality disorder, and so I'm super paranoid about overextending myself into people or oversharing or that kind of thing. And so I worry that if I send people these messages, they're going to be like, why did I get this message from this person? It's weird. And so it weirds me out. It makes me feel a little bit weird. I also used to regularly tweet out that my DMs are open, and this is still true. My DMs are open to anybody that's struggling or wants to talk. And Tony ruined that for me a little bit because he took advantage of that shit.
Wait,
Hack and slash.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Because he did that, and then he took advantage of people, and I was like, I'm going to back off of that, because I used to send out a tweet about once a week that just said, hey, if you follow me and you're hurting or thinking about hurting yourself, contact me and I'll talk to you. It might take me a little while to get back to you because I work crazy hours, and it might take me a while to see it, but if you contact me, I will get back to you. And Hack and Slash had done similar things to use it to abuse people, and it just seemed in bad taste to do it anymore. So I stopped doing it. I might start that back up, but it's just
Hack and Slash is gone off Twitter.
Yeah, he's gone now. But
have you seen Gonna Go For It? Has been on his ass. He has been popping up in different surnames and different sock accounts. And,
yeah, Peter's Peter's vigilant, and Peter knows what's going on with Hack and Slash. That's actually the second time that Neil and I ever hung out. We got on this really unfortunate live stream that lasted 7 hours.
Yeah, but I was drunk, so it was okay.
I was drunk too, but so was everybody else involved. It was just awful. It's an awful live stream. Christ almighty, it was bad. And I was still new to this entire thing, so I didn't know what how to react to things or what the etiquette was. It was just bad. But yeah, I actually am thinking about starting the kindness lottery thing back up, but I feel like sometimes when you reach out to somebody and just send them a super positive message, it kind of comes across as
creepy,
weird, creepy.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be creepy because that's not the intent. The intent is just to brighten somebody's day without.
You know why that comes across as creepy? Because people don't fucking do that enough.
Yeah,
okay.
It's because the only people that do that are weird people.
I was going to say
creepy.
I was gonna say I thought it was because of wheelchair porn, but okay.
If that was more normalized, it wouldn't be that big of a deal.
That reminds me of a joke, actually. It's
Oh.
not a nice one.
No, now you have to tell it. God damn it.
No,
Yeah.
well, all right. There's a lifeguard, and he sees this girl in a wheelchair on the dock out there, and she's crying. So he goes over to her and says, "What's the matter? You don't look like you're very happy." She goes, "Well, I've never been kissed before." So he says, "Oh, really? That's it?" She goes, "Yeah." He goes, so he bends down and he gives her a kiss, and she's happy, and she goes away. And then the next day, same thing. She's out there and she's laughing. And the lifeguard walks over and goes, "You're the same girl that was here yesterday. What's the problem today?" She goes, "Well, I've never been fucked before." So the lifeguard throws her into the water and says, "Now you're fucked."
That's
Wow.
brilliant. I love that shit. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
No, that's actually, I searched for years back in my, I just call them the dark ages. I looked for a long time for the most offensive, what you would call jokes.
There you go.
Like, I didn't give a fuck about anything. Really, I didn't have any sensitivities to people who had sensitivities. I didn't give a fuck about anybody. Like it was just like, I did kind of care because I wasn't a complete jackass, but like I wasn't sensitive to people. And I searched for a long time about what is the most offensive joke that is guaranteed to offend the most amount of people. And there's always races, there's all types of bigotries out there.
Yeah,
But
sure.
what is guaranteed to offend the most people? Babies.
You're welcome.
Children.
Oh, baby.
Children.
No,
Children.
see, I think Jimmy Carr's got you beat because Jimmy Carr has a joke where he says, "If only we could find a way to stop mosquitoes from biting people, we could stop a lot of mosquitoes from getting AIDS."
Oh man, mosquitoes can't get AIDS.
Yeah,
That's the
I
most
figured you could
offensive fucking joke of all time.
I figured you could do better than that, Duke. Do we know what I came up with after a few years of looking? The most offensive joke that is guaranteed to offend the most amount of people is, what do you get when you put a baby in a blender?
See, I've heard different jokes like that, though.
There's many baby in a blender, jokes.
Yeah.
What do you get when you put a baby in a blender?
What's that?
An
Tomato
erection.
soup.
An erection.
See, that's akin to the other one that I heard is, why do you put babies in blenders feet first? So you can see their expressions.
Yeah.
No. The erection one, that really puts another little twist on that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you kill babies and it's sexual. Man, you're one twisted fuck.
Yeah, you're right up there with that guy that got arrested in England about all the the raping and murdering of babies on camera that he had some on the dark web or whatever. You ever hear about that guy? Infants.
No.
They would rape and then slaughter. And
Did they actually show that?
Yeah,
They showed that it actually happened.
it happened.
Oh God!
That really takes the cake on twisted fuck.
Yes, it does. If I ever met that guy
It's
in
almost
person,
like
he wouldn't-
incomprehensibly fucked up.
No, you know what?
Fucking 5 minutes in a room with me, I'd fucking slit his throat right there.
One of the hardest days of my life.
Bet you I gave it done 90 seconds.
I worked a
Phrasing.
property.
Phrasing.
I worked a property in Charlotte, North Carolina, and this story made the national news. These 7 kids gang raped a young woman. It like awful. Gang raped a young woman,
Okay,
and then
we got to stop talking about this shit because I'm getting pissed off now.
Okay, I'll stop talking about it.
No. Finish the story, but after that.
Okay.
I'm done.
That kind of shit just angers me to no end.
So
I
they
want to go outside and beat up anyone that even looks like a fucking rapist right now.
So after they got done with her, they put her in a chokehold and choked her till what they thought she was dead, but she survived. And they threw her in the passageway, the breezeway of the apartment complex. And people found her, called 911, and the police came out. And I was on call for maintenance at the time, so I had to stay there to re-secure the door after the police had knocked it in. And so one of the kids that did it is sitting on the stairs outside. I didn't know that he was involved. I thought he was just a family member or something. And they finished everything up, and they came out to get him to take him into custody. And they went to handcuff him, and he rolled his eyes. And it was like, whatever.
That's fucking twisted.
And at that point in time, I could have gleefully, happily choked the life out of that kid. I could have held him down and choked him to death. Like, I've never, and they were part of a local gang of kids that ran together. So I resecured the door, and the girl went to intensive care. She was there for like 3 weeks. And she finally recovered, and they brought her home to her apartment on the property. And members of the gang that weren't the kids that got arrested were showing up, staring at the building that she lived in, trying to intimidate her into not testifying. And the two guys I worked with, one guy was a retired Air Force combat coordinator. So he was the guy that actually taught like the Marines and people like that how to fight in close quarter combat. He was also a former power lifter and a Greco-Roman wrestler that won like nationals like 3 times. He's a scary, scary dude. Sweetest guy ever, but like
I gotta pee.
Yeah. He was there, and the other guy I worked with was just this dude from Philly who was just a hard ass. And we just went around and caught him standing outside of the building and just punked him. Like, we're not going to call the police. Like, if you come back here again, we're not going to call the police. We're just going to haul you off here by your hair. We're going to like hook you to the back of our golf carts and drag you off the property if you come back here again. It was awful. God, it was an awful experience. But yeah, that kind of shit happens. And it's a shame. But they moved her off the property pretty soon afterwards. I don't know what happened to her after that. But I mean, she just skipped school to go over there to play video games and hang out.
That's, I'm without words on that, dude. That's beyond fucked up. That's
yeah.
That's something else. I mean, that's absolute horror.
If there's a God in the universe, his
and
express
let shit like that happen. So what the best excuse, and I use the word best loosely, very loosely, is shit like that happens to help bring people closer to him.
Yeah, no, fuck that. Fuck that. Good. What I'm going to say is, if there's a God in the universe, he put me on this planet to experience that kind of thing over and over again. Because when I was 19 years old, I walked out back of a Winn-Dixie to have a cigarette where I was working for RGIS inventory. So we were inventorying the stock of the Winn-Dixie, and a woman had burned herself to death in the dumpster out back. So I came across that at 19. I worked in Myrtle Beach. One lady, we got called to an apartment because one lady had a heart attack. She was dead. about a month after that, a woman called the office and said, I put my 3-year-old on the balcony. Please, somebody come over and get him because I'm going to kill myself. And she walked upstairs and shot herself in the chest with a gun. And my compadres and I got in the apartment as she was drawing her last breaths. We had to take the baby to the clubhouse. Her 7-year-old was still at school, so we had to wait around for him to get home and for his dad to get there. I think when the rape happened, about a month after that, a guy got pissed off and got into a fight with SWAT and dumped like 2,500 rounds of AR-15 ammo into the parking lot. We had to evacuate the entire building.
People are telling you to take a breath, Duke.
It's fucking crazy, dude.
You know, I mentioned something about I'm not going to go toe to toe with Duke on shock stories. Yeah,
I worked the hospital, dude.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Considering where you work, I'm sure you've heard doozies.
Oh no, I've only worked in the hospital for the last year and a half, and in that year and a half, that was when the 3 kids that locked themselves in the fucking freezer asphyxiated and died, and they brought the 3 kids, 1.5, 3 years old, and 6 years old, into the hospital.
Yeah, actually, I remember when you went through that.
It's just, I like I said, if there's a God in the universe, his expressed fucking purpose for me is to witness shit like that. Because I can't go.
There's no God.
No, there's not.
Clearly. So someone tell a dead baby joke. Oh man.
Why did the dead baby cross the road?
Because you stapled to the chicken.
No, because the pit bull still had him in his mouth.
Oh, what? Oh my god! What?
No. Here we go. I would do a kink joke. Here we go.
Oh, but I got a dead baby joke though.
Okay, go serve it. We're good.
All right. How do you unload a truckload of dead babies? You use a pitchfork. And you know how you can tell if there's one still alive?
I've actually heard that one.
we've got jokes here called Surrey girl jokes. Surrey is known for the area. There's specific areas in Surrey is known for girls being, shall we say, easier than others. So what's the first thing a Surrey girl does when she wakes up in the morning? Goes home. Sorry. Hang on. Yeah, how many?
So that's a less offensive version of a Pollock joke.
I guess, sure. But, how many? Shit. Hang on a second here. The difference between a Surrey girl and a bowling ball. You could eat a bowling ball if you had to.
Damn.
Yeah. What's the difference between a Surrey girl and a glove? You can get more than one hand in a Surrey girl. Difference between a Surrey girl and an evening glove? Well, an evening glove only comes up to here.
Angie says we used to call these cheerleader jokes.
Yeah, same idea. And actually, as far as I know, when these first started circulating, I was told by a guy that these actually originated as Jersey girl jokes. So there you
go. Okay, here you go. Kink joke. Let's rock it.
Sure.
Guy's at a bar.
Thanks for tuning in tonight. No, I'm just kidding.
He looks over, sees a woman, she's kind of sobbing, crying. He goes over, talks to her. Dad, you look kind of upset. What's going on? She's like, I really can't tell you. She said, no, I'm good. You can go. Just talk to me. I'm not going to judge you. Well, my husband, he just left me. He says I'm too kinky in bed, and he says he just can't take it anymore. You're fucking shitting me. He's like, my wife just left me because she says I'm too kinky. Really?
Dun, dun, dun.
So, I guess fast forward, they're back at her place, right? And she goes off. She's like, I'll be right back. She goes off to, to get her little teddy on and get some toys and, get the gimp outfit and all that. She comes back out and he's walking out the door. She says, "What? Where are you going? I thought you wanted to get kinky." He's like, "Yeah, I already fucked your dog and shit in your purse. I'm out."
Silver Elena says, by the way, Silver, I actually wanted to talk to you. She says, I think Neil's into fisting. I told the evening love joke coming up here.
Well,
like,
we know.
You never know.
Did I ever tell you guys my logic joke?
If I'm into fisting, then I'm kind of like Jim Henson in that way, I guess, right? Because you put your hand all the way up there and you got to pump it.
There you go. Did I ever tell you guys my logic joke?
No.
Okay, so a guy's going back to school. He goes in to see the dean. Dean looks at his resume. He took some tests and everything. He looks it over. He says, "Well, you definitely, before you can start actually taking classes, we're going to have to put you in some remedial classes. And we're going to put you in English. We're going to put you in a mathematics class and a logic class." He says, "Well, I understand English and mathematics, but tell me about the logic class." He says, "All right, well, I'll give you an example. Do you have a lawnmower?" He says, "Yeah." He goes, "Okay, well, if you have a lawnmower, then logic tells me you have a yard. If you have a yard, logic tells me you have a house. If you have a house, logic tells me you're settled down and you're married. And if you're settled down and married, then logic tells me that you're heterosexual." He says, "Oh, okay, holy crap, you asked me one question, told me a bunch of stuff about my life. I want to take that class." So he goes back out. His buddy's waiting on him. His buddy says, "Hey, man, what happened?" He said, "Well," he's going to put me in English and remedial English, mathematics, and logic. And the logic class, that sounds amazing. I can't wait to take that class." He goes, "Well, what's that all about?" He goes, "Well, I'll give you the same example he gave me. Do you have a lawnmower?" His friend says, "No." And he says, "Dude, I didn't know you were homosexual."
Yeah, I heard that like a long time ago. Oh my god. I don't know if you guys like. I remember being like a preteen, and they had the quote unquote dirty jokes. Like, this might sound familiar to you. It might not sound familiar to you, but there was a joke that was titled. The name of it was Johnny Fucker Faster. You ever heard that?
No.
Nope.
No, I haven't.
Okay, I
You're
can't
gonna
remember.
have to tell me about Johnny Fucker Faster. That should be my nickname.
I can't even remember how the fucking joke goes. It's been that long. But apparently he's in a room with a girl and they end up doing it, and the parents walk in and they're like, "Holy Johnny Fucker Faster!" And he's like, "I'm trying," kind of thing was the punchline. Sort of. But when you're 11 or 12, that's the funniest shit in the world, right? So yeah. It was terrible. Sorry, folks. I didn't mean to put you through that 30 and a half seconds of misery. My apologies.
Yeah, you did.
All right.
Listen.
Maybe.
Well, all we have to say to bring the chat back is that if Neil takes you out on a date and he says we got to stop by the Yankee Candle Company, you're getting laid.
That's right. Buy the 3-inch candle.
3-inch? Yeah, pussy. Come on. Go fucking big or go home. I mean, come on, seriously.
Yeah, listen, man. Listen, I'm going to tell you this honestly, Neil. People that say go big or go home.
No, lie to me.
People that say go big or go home totally underestimate my willingness to go home.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
I totally like going home is the goal.
Go big or go home. See ya. I'm out of here.
Oh, that is priceless. Biddy Love says takes new meaning to candlelight dinner.
Yeah. Imagine candlelight dinner where you can't see the candles, and the music in the background is like that porn shit or whatever the fuck it was.
No, the bomb chicka wawa. You got it.
Wow, wow. Hey, lady, here's the pizza and here's the pepperoni.
Hey, I heard you had pipes that were clogged. I'm here to snake them out.
We got a guy in Canada here. His name's Dave Wilcox, and he's got a song called "Layin' Pipe." Layin' pipe all night long. Layin' pipe.
There's a guy from North Carolina. His name is Unknown Henson. Now, has anybody watched the show Squidbillies?
Yes, fucking love that show. It's great.
All right, so Unknown Henson is the voice of Early Kyler.
Really?
The main, yeah. But he's also a musician, and that's the voice of his musician. But that is actually not him. Like his real name is like Dan Brown or something. He's just some really articulate, really intelligent guy. But when he does Unknown Henson, he talks like that, and somebody came across him and said, "You should voice Early Kyler."
Yeah,
and
nice.
if you ever get a chance to see him, like his songs are like comedy. So it's like, "I ain't afraid of your husband, darling. I'm coming over tonight." Like that's kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I make faces when I make love. You know what I mean? And he's hilarious.
So do I.
In fact, like the Cletus T. Beauregard thing that I do is lightly based on him.
Okay.
But live, he does like a 3.5 hour show, and he is a guitar god. The guy plays like nobody's business. He just plays nonstop for 3 hours. It's like $15, $20 to get in to see him, and he's just amazing. Like amazing. Like I was floored both times I saw him. Best $20 I ever spent. So if you ever get a chance, if you're ever in the southern part of America and you see Unknown Henson, go to the show. It's phenomenal.
I just have to. I didn't even know that guy even existed. I just like Squidbillies, to be honest. But I got to mention something in the chat. Angie Dell says my face hurts with a couple of laughing emojis. Biddy loves ghosts as someone sitting on it. Which didn't even dawn on me until Angie goes, "No, Biddy, but there's hope."
Hey, sorry I brought the mood down with my bullshit about my fucking bullshit.
Dude, you know what? It's part of who you are and the stuff that you've dealt with. And you take the good with the bad. Holy shit, I sound like I'm about to break into the Facts of Life song. You take the good. No, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. You should sing the Facts of Life song, Neil.
No, because that's like all I know.
No,
Please.
that's good because I was about to start going into like Golden Girls because I got the songs crossed in my head.
Okay,
it's good that
you can leave the stream anytime, sir.
Wait a minute. Wait. Are you shitting on the Golden Girls?
Yeah, like I don't need to hear the fucking song. I was never really a big fan of the show.
I wouldn't dare to sing the song.
Okay, good.
I was admitting that I got the songs crossed in my head, and I'm glad you said something before I went on to it because that would have been mortifying.
Wait. Hold on. Golden Girls is like amongst the greatest television of all time.
Really?
I'm not
just saying.
shitting on anything. It's
Wow.
to make
You guys
that
are shit.
mistake is terrible.
You guys are shitting on my childhood. I'd watch that shit as a kid because my parents were lame.
Somehow it feels like we're not getting out of the stream without somebody busting into that song.
I liked shit like Gilligan's Island, Hogan's Heroes, MASH.
Hey, you know what? My first crush was Patty Duke from the Patty Duke Show from Nickelodeon, like the Nickelodeon channel they had for all the old shit.
Yep.
How do you not love Betty White?
Oh, Betty's awesome, dude. But
Betty's the shit. Like she's actually immortal. I'm surprised there's not a religion centered around Betty White.
Look who's in my chat now as himself. He's not hiding behind the Bible Belt Atheist moniker.
He was
Zach
never
Brown.
really.
Oh
hiding.
shit! Zach Brown with his inverted
Yes.
fucking pentagram, metal as fuck. Dude,
Metal
I'm
as
dying to
fuck.
get your black.
Dude,
I'm dying for your black metal record, man.
Listen. It's not a pentagram. In a circle, it's a pentacle.
No, it's a pinnacle if it's upright. It's a pentagram if it's inverted.
No. Pentagram is without the circle. Pentacle is with the circle. Doesn't matter the direction. When a star is pointing up, it means of the heavens, and then when a star is pointing down, it means it's like as above, so below. That's all it means.
This would be a really good one to submit to Shannon.
Dude, I used to be a pig. I know all about it.
Well, no, this seems like one of those, kind of topics that she's been bringing up recently, and I'm glad she wasn't here when the whole joke thing that involved the yard and the lawn part of the joke. Her eye roll would have moved the chat.
Yes, I would have shut down my computer. Let's put it that way.
I don't sweat, Shannon.
All right. So, Silver, the thing I was going to talk to you about, by the way, is if you haven't been on my show yet. So I don't know how much of a deconversion story you have, although I see that you used to be a pagan like me. Maybe we could talk about that because I'd love to have you on the show if you're interested in doing that. And
Shit, my deconversion was like, up until I was like 12, 13 years old. And I said, oh, this is some bullshit. Okay, we're done. Then I started talking about the rest of my life. So
dude,
I think you've got something to add here, Silver.
You IQ, you've been on my show, so can.
Well,
so
what I'm saying is that you don't think that she has much of a deconversion story. I'm like, yeah, mine lasted up until I was fucking 12. So she more than likely has something to add.
Yeah, more than like Angie's like, I used to be Republican.
Hey, Angie, so did I, my love. Don't worry. I used to have a signed, like an autographed photo of Bush.
You know what's funny? You just reminded me of something. I saw a tweet earlier today on Twitter where someone says, Jesus, did we just elect the dumbest president in the world in Bush? And that was, I think it was a 2000 election quote. And then 2016 quote, or really, hold my beer. And then we elected Trump.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so I see Biddy Love. I see Biddy Love. I see Biddy Love. She says she's a Republican. There's nothing wrong with being a Republican. There's nothing wrong with being conservative.
Nope.
It all depends on whether or not your political philosophy pushes you in a direction of hatred towards people. So there's nothing wrong with being conservative. Like, I think we need both parties to keep each other in line, because you can't just give everything away all the time, and you also can't just not give anything away at all. But there's nothing wrong with being a Republican.
I'll bite that. Agree.
I'm just saying, like,
there's nothing really wrong with being anything. It's just,
well, no, I mean,
if what your anything is drives you towards hatred and destruction and hurt and pain and despair.
That's when I got
right. Yeah, and I agree with that. But there's something to be said about taking something from every side of the political spectrum and using all of it collectively to make something work, and having people working from every angle to make things work. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be polarized to the point where it has to be left or it has to be right. Like, that doesn't have to be a thing.
That ties into my Bruce Lee philosophy pillar. Absorb what is useful, discard what is not, add what is uniquely your own.
Be like water.
Be like water. It's all about discarding what doesn't fucking work and noticing that and taking from things. Like, I've gotten so much good information and wisdom from people who just happen to be theists. I'm not going to disregard wisdom just because it happens to come from somebody who believes something that I disagree with. If somebody says something that sounds right and is true, I will research it. I will think about it. and I will recognize it if it happens to be something that is pertaining to what I consider solid wisdom. And I don't care what the fuck else you believe. If it's good, it's good, and I'll absorb that. And anything else that comes along with it, I will fucking toss it in the gutter.
If it works, right? Like, so if you look at the political spectrum, you can say, okay, you're good defending the country, you're good there. If you're good at looking after social networks, you're good there. Like, we should have people from all over the spectrum looking after the government, because the entire spectrum of the country is not one. It's not black and white. It's not black and white. You know what I mean? Like, there's no black and white answer to anything that we deal with. So it makes sense to have people from everywhere chiming in and giving their 2 cents. It's just I think the fact that we're a 2-party system sucks.
Mm-hmm.
I think the fact that there's not enough.
People got too used to what it is.
You know, we have a bunch of different parties here in Canada, and actually, Vice Rhino would be really happy because we do have a party called the Rhino Party. But he's Canadian and probably already knows that anyways.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's fun.
No, Rhino's awesome, dude. I've chatted.
Dude, he's a smart cat.
Oh, he fucking is. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I agree.
Smart dude. Everybody's smarter than I am, though, so it's fine. I'm the dumb funny guy.
Okay, Zach is getting his guitar set up soon for writing. Atta boy.
What kind of guitar?
I don't know. You'll have to ask him. But Zach, what you do isn't really singing. It's more or less.
No, that's the guitar.
Hush your mouth. Hush your mouth.
Let me finish my sentence first. It's growling into a microphone.
No, it's vocal fry. It's vocal fry.
I know what it is. I know.
It takes talent to do, and you have to learn it.
BC Rich. He's got a guitar from my neck of the woods.
He finally got the War Beast.
Yeah.
I tried to. I put together a GoFundMe for him. It never went anywhere because I'm lazy.
Neil, do you remember the guitar he was talking about? It was on his channel anniversary stream.
I do. Yep. And I'm glad he got it. That's fucking amazing. BC Rich. Those are originated from my neck of the woods.
And they were out of stock, and he was super pissed. And I am super happy for you, Zach. That's awesome,
dude. I am
that's
dying.
What he's getting. He hasn't got it yet. He's getting it.
Well,
dude, I'm dying to hear your fucking black metal record, man.
Ball's fucking rolling. That's.
Yeah, Zach, you gotta do that shit. Get it recorded, get it mastered, done properly. Send it my way, man, and I can. I will. I know people, so send it.
I've watched multiple videos of Zach doing his vocal fry. It is on par.
Yeah,
that kid's vocal fry is really good. I mean, like really good. Like it's freaking on point. So like, I'm definitely dying to hear what he does.
I'm only teasing him, by the way. Just so you guys know that.
Duke ain't teasing him.
No.
You're being an anti-death metal bigot.
What?
You're an anti-vocal fry. You're an anti-vocal fry bigot. You're a violent anti-vocal fry bigot, and you need to issue an immediate apology video to say you're sorry.
Let me just mute Duke here for a second.
Like seriously though, I'm being funny, but like I've watched multiple of his videos where he does.
Me too.
Yeah, it's really good. Like he is very good.
Oh, I'm only teasing, for fuck's sakes.
No, you weren't. You secretly hate Zach.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You found me out.
I'm sorry. I'm being a dick. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Duke Kennett. Sorry, Zach. You're gonna have to leave my chat. I'm sorry.
Love you, Zach. I love your stuff. You're awesome. I'm really looking forward to your stuff.
He's one of my favorite people. Like fuck you, telling me I hate the guy or something.
You don't.
when I
He
meet
needs.
you, I'm pouring an entire fucking thing of dry ice down the front of your pants when I meet you.
I hope so. I need that.
I need this.
What does a death metal
Talk
bigot
about
look
kink.
like?
What?
What is a death metal bigot? Like, like here's
Looks
It's a
like
guy. It's a guy who's
rolls his eyes,
anti-fucking.
pauses Golden Girls, pauses, like I don't know.
It's a guy who straight up is anti-growly vocals, which Neil
I'm not.
obviously is. No,
He's got some good shit, man. He's got.
Yes, I know.
And it's
I know. I'm
hard to
fucking
fucking
guys.
do because you can love. You can love metal. You can think. You can scream and growl, but you really need to try at that.
I do it too in some parts of our songs, so it's all right.
okay.
Feel
So
that moment.
so you do it occasionally, and you have friends that do it, and that makes you feel empowered to be
What?
judgmental of people that do it.
Fuck yeah. I mean,
Now you're just trying to trigger
Now you're just a troll. So you're trolling. You're saying you're insensitive to people that do death metal vocals. Is that what you're doing?
him. No,
You know what?
dude. No.
I am not answering any more fucking questions. Okay?
No. Keep at it because this line of questioning leads to somebody having a good scream.
Yeah.
Wow. I can't do fries anymore. My voice doesn't do it. But hey,
It takes practice because you like try and you feel something like pop in your throat and it's just like rah, and it's just like, oh shit, no, I didn't think I could do that.
Yeah.
I used to be able to do crazy stuff with my voice. I probably still could, but it's just I'm not doing it because it's just really loud.
Exactly.
When I do it.
Here's what Zach says. Neil, you have the right to remain silent.
We love you, Zach, and I think it's awesome that you're got your guitar and you're gonna make your record. That's great.
And then look at this shit. Reaching for the volume button. All right, screw you guys. I'm getting hand. Yes, I'm getting hand.
No, not just that he's achieving this shit
I'm
at a
already
point
home.
in my life where all I was doing was just fucking smoking weed. So, fucking props.
I got
to you.
this big ass fucking bitch waiting for me as soon as I'm done here. So, because
Nice.
I can't smoke inside. I actually got two of them this size. So, one of the
2000.
Yeah, me too. But so what?
I linked an entire pack of 1.5s together.
Oh, did you?
Oh yeah, stuffed.
Oh, dude, one night.
How much did you put in that?
About an ounce and a half.
Oh my god!
I started rolling it at 9:30, and it was done right before the clock struck 12.
Took you that fucking long, you rookie ass motherfucker?
I had to. That was the time that I licking, and
licking. That's why she still likes you.
An entire pack of 1.5.
A bed sheet.
You put them and you link them all together. Then the next row you put them on the bottom, and the next row side. You make a really big fucking paper. And I had to invent a fucking rolling machine to fucking handle this thing. It was just a simple piece of cloth and 2 dowel rods, and breaking up an ounce and a half takes a little bit of time. And of course, because I'm a perfectionist, it had to be great. It was lovely.
It'd be like total fucking Cheech and Chong style.
No,
can I tell you guys a funny
years later that happened.
Okay, go ahead.
Can I tell you guys a funny story?
No.
No?
No, I'm kidding. Go ahead. Of course you can.
So, once upon a time, I was hanging out with some boys. One of my boys was a kid named Josh, who hated authority, and we were all like 18 to 20, but he was like a horrible alcoholic, like awful. Like this guy was passed out drunk by 10 o'clock every night. We had a couple of girls with us, and we wanted to get them out of their clothes. So we decided, like I said, why don't we go to a hot tub? There's a hot tub where I live at my apartment complex. And my buddy Sean was like, no, I know a better place. We go there all the time. We never have any static. It's all good. And then you don't have to worry about explaining to your parents why you got busted in the hot tub. And I was like, cool. So we go to the hot tub. We leave my buddy Josh, who hates the cops, passed out in the front seat because he's already drank like 2 bottles of Wild Irish Rose wine. So he's fucked up. He's passed out with his head hanging out the window. We get in the hot tub. We're having a good time. Things are progressing. We look up. There's a cop pulling by, looking right at us. And the cop was cool enough to let us get our clothes back on. But me and Sean are like, we have to get back to the truck because if the cop gets to the truck before we do, we're all going to jail. Because Josh hates the police. So we round the corner of the building, just pulling our pants up, just as this big fucking just state trooper fucking Texas cop with a pompadour, like this older guy, walks up. He's shining a fucking flashlight in my buddy Josh's face. And he says, "What's wrong with you, boy?" And Josh jumps up, grabs him by the titties, and goes, "Booga, booga, 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 booga."
Grabs him by the titties?
Yeah, no shit. He reaches out and grabs him by his titties. And booga, 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 right? So Sean and I are like, fuck, we're going to jail. Fuck, we're going to jail. So this cop walks up to, he's red as a beet. He's so pissed off. There's like steam fucking running off of his head. He comes up to us. He's got his light shining in our face. And he goes, "What's wrong with that boy?" And my buddy Sean, in a moment of pure genius, says, "Oh, that's my brother. He's retarded."
Oh, boy.
That has got to be a fallback.
My mother makes me take
him in her back pocket.
He says, "My mother makes me take him everywhere we go because he shits all over the house." And this cop looks at us and he goes from beet red to like white. And he doesn't know what to say for a second. He's like slack mouth. He's looking at us. He looks at me. He looks at Sean. He looks at me. He looks back at Sean and he goes, "Well, goddamn, boy, get that boy home. You can't be out here at 3:30 in the morning with this mongoloid in the car."
Oh, God.
I hear Kitty.
Yeah, that's one of our cats. You gotta get this boy home. You can't be out here all the time of the night. And we got off. It's one of those things where this is proof. Like, if you could tell, like, I have another story that's similar. If you can tell a cop something they've never heard before, they will let you go.
Mm-hmm.
The other story I have, I was doing LSD with a friend of mine, and it wasn't like blood or acid. We got our hands on like gel caps of the real thing.
Oh, fuck.
So we were fucked up, right? And anybody that knows anything about ducks know that ducks are rapists. Male ducks are assholes.
Yeah, you got to see that video, actually. What is it? Anatomically correct DuckTales? Whatever you see. Yeah. Anatomically correct DuckTales. Woo!
I couldn't go home because I was fucked up beyond belief. And so was my friend. And my friend was more fucked up than I was. So we went to this park. And it was a duck park. So the male ducks, it's like 3:30 in the morning, and the male ducks are trying to rape the female ducks. And at the time, we didn't know that ducks were rapists. We just thought the male ducks were being assholes. We thought they were just pecking these fucking ducks down. So
you have to change your name to Duck Bonanza for a while now.
maybe I will. So we're chasing these male ducks off of these fucking female ducks. We're like knocking them off. Like, knock it off, asshole. Quit fucking picking on this other duck. You're an asshole. Because we're high as a fucking kite, right?
And ducks speak English.
Yeah. So we're doing this shit.
Hater bonanza.
So we're doing this shit. And out of nowhere, we hear whoop whoop. I look over, there's a cop. My buddy runs to the edge of the light and dives into the bushes, but gets stuck. So he's stuck in the bushes with his feet kicking in the air. And now I have to go and talk to this police officer, right? And I'm tripping my balls off. Like, the entire world is an amalgamation of visuals and crazy shit. And so I walk over to this cop, and he's like, hey, man, we got a report. There's a couple of guys out here
raping ducks,
molesting the ducks. That's his exact words. And I threw a peace sign up. I said, I don't know what you're talking about, dude. Every day is Earth Day. And this cop pinched his nose, looked down, pinched his nose, and went, listen. I have to lock up a few shops, and I have to check back on this place. Don't be here when I get back. And I said, yes, sir. We won't be here when you get back, I promise. And I went and I dug my friend out of the holly bushes and moved back in my truck, and we left.
I would have been like, well, you might give us enough time to finish molesting the ducks. Just, to fuck with them. That's what I mean.
I was beyond fucking with him at that point.
Oh, okay.
Look, when you listen to me. When you walk up to a police officer at 3:30 in the morning in a situation where it's almost certain you're going to get arrested, and his face is spinning and directing in ways that aren't natural for the human physique, and you get snarky, you can tell me all about that.
I hear you.
Indeed.
At the point, I was just trying to not get arrested.
Yeah, well, this is probably a good idea. Wait.
Which I didn't. We didn't hurt the ducks. I don't want anybody getting the impression like we hurt anything. We're just chasing them off. Mm-hmm. We're just like, stop that. Knock that off.
Stop raping the other ducks.
Exactly. Stop picking that duck. What's wrong with you? And then the police showed up. And I had to talk to him. It was bad.
Yeah.
But it was good because it turned out good because he was just like, look.
Who the fuck? Wait. So the cop showed up saying that he got a report that you guys were molesting ducks. Mm-hmm. How the fuck did he get that information?
The people across the street, I guess. It was a lit area. You've got two guys at 18 years old running around a fucking park. It's lit by fucking street lights at 3:30 in the morning, chasing ducks around.
I can only imagine the dialect that was happening at the time too. You guys are yelling things at the ducks like, you gotta stop raping the duck. You guys are a bunch of fucking rapists. You gotta fucking stop it. And overhear this from across the pond, and they get the wrong idea. And I can see how that can go bad real quick.
That one over there.
It was more along the lines. It was more along the lines of, stop being an asshole. What the fuck are you doing? Fuck off, man. Quit pecking her. Quit pecking her. Stop it. What the fuck are you doing?
He's trying to stop poor old Daffy from getting some.
Hey, fuck Daffy. Daffy can kiss my nuts.
I'm sure he probably would.
Fucking rapist. But no,
fucking rapist. Guys, I gotta go. I gotta get my ass out of here. So
it's been fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like that's exactly what I was thinking of too. Or what she was wondering, like how the cop heard that you were raping ducks. Like that's just crazy shit right there. Anyway. Well, you've heard it all tonight, folks. You've heard all about what we were talking about when Dave was still with us and Shannon was still with us. And it led to, for the finale for tonight, it led to raping ducks. Yes, sir. We even had beads and candles up the ass. We had all kinds of stuff tonight.
You heard it here first, folks.
Fisting, apparently.
Hey, listen. It just takes all you gotta do is relax. Just relax.
Just
a little bit of lube. Just relax.
Lube's for rookies. Come on. Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Listen, Biddy is a Republican because she says she was a Republican, and now she's trying to backtrack and be like, "I'm not a Republican." No, forever you're a Republican. I don't care what you say.
Cock blocker.
Because I defended you. Damn it.
Duke is a duck cock blocker. Attaboy. All right. You know that ducks actually have like little kind of corkscrewy dicks, apparently. So, Silverlana, no fisting. Don't worry. It's not on my vocabulary. Anyways, guys, we're gonna end this one because I got to take off. So I'm really hungry, and a friend of mine downstairs has got some lobster on the go. So I'm gonna go chat out on some lobster. But anyways, thanks guys for hanging out with us tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed the earlier show, the interview, and the after party. I had a lot of fun tonight. Dave is really cool. And thank you guys for hanging out with us. And I keep hearing myself being echoed. I don't know where. But anyways, don't ask Neil for a hand. No, you don't want to do that because I have two. Anyways, until next time, guys, like I always say at the end of these things, like the late great Christopher Hitchens once said, it's called faith because it's not knowledge. And Silver, I will get in touch with you via Twitter. And we'll talk to you.
Titties!
Just got to throw that in there.